This is Richard Swadley with the Cook's Kettle, and today what's cooking local is sweet and savory sushi rolls. Usually with sushi you want to use sticky rice, though with this recipe you want to use something a little sweeter. To do that you want to boil your rice with a little bit of honey, a little bit of rice wine vinegar, as well as a little bit of white sugar. Whenever your rice is done, you want to make sure that it's moldable. You want to be able to shape it into a ball. And it's a little strange, but all you have to do is drop it. If it doesn't fall apart, it's good. Now, with sushi, you generally want to use nori. Nori is a type of seaweed that's actually roasted and patted into a paper. Right here, I actually have a sea salt roasted nori. You want to use the shiny side down. Whenever you get your rice ready, you want to actually place it out onto a flat sheet, make it really smooth, and you want to let it air dry. You don't want it steaming hot because it can actually get you through gloves, even like these. Now when it's cool enough for you to handle, you actually want to pat it down against the nori. You want to smooth it out in as best as you could. About 1/4 inch thick, covering as much of the nori as you can. You can go thinner. The thinner you go, the more ingredients you'll generally want on the inside of the roll. And keep in mind whenever you're choosing your nori, if you want a flavored nori, you can find them. It's actually pretty easy, especially here in Springfield. But if you get a salmon or a shrimp flavored nori roll, for example, it can tend to be a bit overwhelming. What you'll want to do in that case is soak it in water just a little bit. This will actually pull a little bit of the flavor out and make the nori easier to work with. With the sticky rice, it's nice to have a little bit of water nearby so you can wet your hands. In other words, it's going to end up sticking to you more than it does the roll. Now once you have your rice packed down onto your nori, you'll want to grab your sushi mats. These are actually very easy to come by as well. They are not expensive at all. And in fact, you can actually find them for just under $2 usually. You want to place your nori onto the mat. Now your ingredients with sushi, you can actually use just about anything. It's really up to your taste. With this recipe, we've gone with carrots, imitation crab meat, portobello mushrooms, and a cream cheese that has a mixture of minced ginger as well as shrimp base. You can also use a paste too, but the base tends to be easier to work with. I'm going to go ahead and use our cream cheese here. You'll want to smooth it out as best you can because you don't want large clumps sitting in the middle of your roll. You want it nice and uniform. Every piece has to be generally the same. You'll want to pat it down nice and flat. Don't beat it too much into your rice, otherwise you're going to have leakage out into your nori. Next, you'll want to grab your crab meat or any other protein you decide to use for the dish. Layer it out just as you did your cream cheese. Any other vegetables you use, you generally don't want to surround your cream cheese completely. Otherwise, you may have a little difficulty cutting the roll once you're finished. Grab our portobello mushrooms here. Okay, and we're ready to roll our first sushi roll. Generally, whenever you're rolling, to start off with, you want to hold down your ingredients until you have a full arch in the roll. Once you get that, you push down on your mat just a slight bit. What this does is it evens out the cream cheese that's in the center, and it makes sure that your ingredients aren't going to fall anywhere once you continue your roll. Every time you turn it, you want to turn it about another inch or two. Squeeze it and pat it down. Another turn here. And one more should be enough. It's not really required, but personally I like to wrap my mat entirely around the roll once it's been finished. This helps you even out the edges just a little bit more. And once you're done with the roll, you'll notice that the sides are going to be protruding a little bit. This is normal, it's okay, it's actually used as its own garnish in most dishes. You'll always want to use a serrated blade. You don't want to use a straight blade at all because you're going to have a hard time getting through any vegetables that you have in the center of the roll. You want a long blade as well, so you can just do it in long, even strokes. Don't apply any pressure at all, just let the blade do its work. Cut off your ends here. Set that aside. Now you generally want to use 1 to 2 inches for each roll of sushi that you're going to serve. Doing this, you should be able to get anywhere from 5 to 8 pieces out of your standard nori sheet. You can get larger nori sheets as well, which most sushi rolls can produce up to 10 pieces per. With the flavor palette we're going here, it's going to be sweet, a little tangy, and it's also going to be soft, and it's going to have a hard crunch inside due to the carrots. Generally pretty enjoyable. Now once you get your sushi cut, you'll want to chill it for at least 20 minutes. This actually allows it to harden up a bit more. If you chill it before you cut the roll, you're going to have even that much harder time getting through what you've placed on the inside. As a typical garnish for any sushi roll, it's generally what you have on the inside of the roll, so people can tell what they're eating. It's a little difficult to see whenever everything's mushed together and chopped up into little bits. So in this case, we're putting a little bit of mushroom, some crab, and some carrot along the outside here. And we're going to top it off with just a little bit of black sesame seed. These are the sweet and savory sushi rolls, and my name is Richard Swadley with the Cook's Kettle, and that's what's cooking local.